Welcome everyone, it's Favorite Trigmar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. We are going to be cleaning up our stuff here. Let's try to clean up that. We still got a lot of these to clean up, man. Like, a lot. Like, for real, I've got a lot to clean out in terms of food. Now you might ask, why the heck am I doing this right this minute? Well, funny you should ask. The reason for it is because I'm trying to prepare up a storm for the next CVC. And so I have to decide who do I want to. We got to do some more arena. You might ask, why the heck am I even doing more arena? Well, it's got to do with the fact that I need to progress. To put it bluntly, I need to progress, and an only way to really progress at like a big level in this game is to do arena. Arena is a it's an unavoidable evil. Gotta be blunt. We are most likely dead here. But I'll do my best to salvage this situation. Good. We salvaged it. I mean, I don't know if this is the best idea, but I'm going to give it a go. Not good. Not good. We're dead. Yep. If he gets a turn there, we're dead. I mean, it is risky doing this, but getting as much arena in as possible, regardless of risk, is important. To try to maintain status, to try to see what teams you can and cannot fight. This is a non-starter, though. Some teams are just, it's like, Yeah, there's no point of doing that. Same with that. All right. We got that cleaned up. Four upgrades. Let's start with you, because you need a helm, right? What does he need the most? I want to say resist and HP. Maybe that day's helm. That. That right there. That. He needs that. We're going to put him in here along with some other important notables. Inquisitor Shamael, I'm going to need to get him up to par. Yakarl. Now you might ask, why Yakarl? Well, Yakarl has some very important attributes to this account because he is a very, very powerful nuker. And Inquisitor Shamael is for dealing with Mashald. This guy is for secret rooms and for clan boss, maybe even arena. Like, he's got an ally protection ability, which I can't understate to you how big ally protection is. This guy also has a true fear, which again is huge against certain teams. Be great versus Mashald. Say, like, that ability alone is what makes Inquisitor Shamael so worth my time. That ability alone. But to take advantage of it, we're going to have to do some leveling. Only way. Only way. They've got to go take their journey. In order to get this progression. Because it's one thing to 6-star champs, it's another to make them actualized. That's the issue. Is they've got to keep slugging it out with their kin. See how useful that is to get the true fear on there? Because we got some powerful characters. I just got to get them up and rolling, you know? I've been making a lot of 6 stars and writing a lot of food, but I haven't been leveling them properly. And that's been an issue. So yeah, we're going to continue that onslaught. Let's just continue it. Let's finish the job. At least on one of these fiends. Because I've got to do Hydra tomorrow anyway, so if there's one person that needs to get there, it's Inquisitor. Because he's indispensable for Hydra. Would I grind food on screen? I've done a bit of that, but I just don't feel in the mood right now to do that. Because, you know, it's not the champion that matters. That's just the food for them. So that wouldn't do a lot. Because in the end, even if you get a champion to 6 star, you got to get them to 60 for their full power to unveil itself. That's what I've got to do. And then we go back in time. Not exactly what I was looking for in terms of... Because I gotta help out my faction... The right faction. Although I think maybe Scathix is a good move. As again, we didn't get Maneater. Maybe he would be good like as a warlord substitute for clan boss. Maybe. Because, like, this is the big debate now, you know? The Shamael debate is not really a debate. We need him. We need to help him out. He's a big guy. He does his job like a big, important guy. Like, he does a lot of important work in terms of dealing damage in specific content. He's specifically a big counter to Mashald and a massive Hydra monster. So because of that, I've got to give him some credit where credit is due. Because at this point, like, look at that true fear. That's going to mess some people up. Like, if he gets going, that's going to mess some people up. Right there. Because I've got to head back to my roots. And my roots in this game... There's also another reason why I'm doing this, is because some of these other champs have big functions in secret rooms. So that's why they get priority. I like how she still did that. Through the true fear. Unreal, man. It's basically, my point is to do 3 of these bosses as part of the daily. Knock that out while getting some experience points. And at the same time, try to get as much levels as possible while we have our XP buff up. Does that make sense? Especially on champs that I needed to get to 6-star anyway for specific purposes. Like this guy, Michaelis, needs to be 6-star to really shine where he's needed most, which is in secret rooms in the depths of Doom Tower. If you don't have the stats, Michaelis is going to struggle omega hard. So I don't need that to happen because he's got a specific purpose. Likewise with Inquisitor. Haha. Buff stolen. Now I go back in reverse order and go fight this boss. But I cannot deny ally protect value. That's the bitter thing here. I can't deny it. So we're just going to help out the ally protect people. In addition, anything with ally protect is insanely valuable. I don't care what anyone tells you. Ally protect is tremendously valuable debuff or buff. Never underestimate ally protect as a way to last in content. And there you have it. We will be cleaning up more of these. That helps keep our silver topped up. We're going to want to fight this. How can I burn it faster? Dracomorph is an example. But is there a way to burn it faster? We snack poison on it, though. Let's just take it. My problem I'm having right now is this crisis where if I go to all in on damage, we won't be able to survive the whole fight. That's the issue. But that literally, I just realized I could probably get away with not using Coffin Smasher and I could just use Dark Kale Cheese. I say Dark Kale Cheese because Dark Kale can survive that kind of shenanigans. And put up decrease attack, which doesn't sound like a big debuff until you realize this thing hits like a absolute Mack truck. And then it makes more sense afterwards. Why I might want to place a decrease attack on it. Oh, it removed the debuff. So this is where the whole problem. This is why Dark Kale would be strong here. Because Dark Kale would keep the decrease attack on this buff on the bird. There we go. But now, I'm going to try an experiment. I don't know if it's going to work, but I want it. I feel like it's worth my time trying this. I want to put in Where the heck is she anymore? Ugo. Which, by the way, we're going to want to ascend Ugo because I've been ignoring Ugo for the longest time. And her gear is bad. Omega bad. Okay. Ugo needs some aid. Yeah. Let's just say Ugo's been out of the loop a bit. For a lot longer than I would like to admit. Like a lot longer. We need accuracy. Here we go. Here we go. Perfect. Because we need some very high accuracy here if we want to get this to land in those mobs. And some very high HP. And resist. Why? Because these waves are about to get a lot more ferocious. We're talking extra ferocious. Alright, so I want to try something. Because of affinity reasons, I want to try Ugo. This time, Ugo with better stats. Ah, you see that? You saw that. Ooh, the fear. I hate how that hits multiple times. I hate how he resets the cooldowns of that. That makes my job way harder. Okay, at least Dracomorph hits like an absolute cannon. So we can finish that off. I swear, Dracomorph is underrated. People sleep on Dracomorph all the time. They're like, he's not big. He's not a big... I'm like, in what universe is Dracomorph... I mean, okay, if you're a whale, if you're a turbo whale, sure. If you're not a turbo whale, he's a big deal. Like a big deal. Like, big. Same with Ugo, same with Arbiter. These are all big deals if you're not a turbo whale. Sure, if you're a turbo whale, you can go with like the most OP stuff like Leorius and all that without even a second glance, because you have more shards than you know what to do with. But if you're not ridiculously wealthy somehow, then yeah, no, these champs start to become a much bigger deal. You know? Things like Dracomorph, Zavia, every single one of those champs, even Ultimate Death Knight, because Ultimate Death Knight acts like a budget. There's a reason I'm doing this tonight. I don't want to miss it. I know that if I miss this, I probably will miss the ability to clear Doom Tower, period. Which in this case would stink. And I have been ignoring Doom Tower a little bit too much lately. I guess it's okay that she uses that ability, because Ugo's main function here is not to revive. Ugo's main function here is to get the block buffs in. Because as you go up the tower, the level of buffage goes, like the level of buffs goes up dramatically. So block buffs starts to have a much bigger role to play when it comes to these higher Doom Tower waves. I'm just doing this as an experiment. If I have to manual, I will, but I'm trying to see if we can just blow it to shreds. That's the objective. Yes, this will be a little bit rough, but I mean, we're close to the end of the tower, so it's kind of a given. I mean, those are Krisks. Think about it. That's Krisk we're talking about. That's not going to be easy to deal with. In fact, I think Arbiter may have squandered our ability to do this. Hopefully they get something. The main problem we have here has to do with the fact that the Krisks are paired with the Shatterbones. That's the main issue here. It's one thing to deal with Krisk. That's already a monumental problem. But to deal with Krisk plus Shatterbones is substantially worse. We will be lucky, by the way, to get to the end of this tower. Man, these waves are brutal. I may not even be able to finish it with this. We may have to manual the rest of it. But we'll see. It depends if Ugo's the last one alive. Is there that bitter irony of that? Oh, this could be bad. Especially if he gets the block revive. It's probably Ultimate Death Knight that has to do the big work. But I don't know if he'll make it. I don't think he will. He's not resisting enough. But we'll see. We will see. You'd be surprised what Ultimate Death Knight can do when he puts his mind to it. He's stronger than he looks. I mean, this true fear is a lot more powerful. I mean, this fear is a lot more powerful than you think for a number of reasons. Now, the reason for it, even though we're probably going to lose, has to do with the fact that this fear affects legendary champions. Now, you might ask, what is the big advantage of that? Most of my advanced foes are legendary champions. So you can imagine what happens when they keep getting feared by him over and over and over again. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the hidden power of Ultimate Death Knight. He's got more up his sleeve than it looks. Like the passive where he like the part of it where it fears legendary because most of my opponents are legendaries. Let's face it. Most people on the planet are luckier than me at this game. So when they throw opponents at me, especially in places like Doom Tower, the first thing they're going to throw at me, it's not epics, it's not rares, it's legendary champions. So that's where the big value comes in. That's where Ultimate Death Knight really cashes in Doom Tower, because he is able to both provoke and blow up legendary champions. That's huge. All right. See, so we got rid of at least one. Well, that's not good. He put strengthen on him. I'll take it. Honestly, I'll take that. Floor 95. We're getting near the top. All right, that gets rid of some of them. All of them actually now. Zavia really does a lot on these higher floors due to her ability to block revive. Having the ability to block revive is critical. Some form of block revive, even if it's a setup block revive, is critical in higher floors for, you know, not having to do an excruciating amount. Okay, you either want to nuke them down like straight away or you want to block the revive, or both. Preferably both. As you'd be surprised how many champions in the upper floors, case in point, have the ability to revive their entire team in one go. You would be surprised. Or you thought you nuked the whole team, but it has some passive. It has a passive whereby if you knock them all down and then one of them has a revive on death passive that was like on the rest of their team and you didn't even know it, and then their entire team revives and then they kill you. Like, this is the kind of thing that happens in Doom Tower. Way too much for my liking. So that's why, if you can afford to use a block revive on the higher floors of Doom Tower, do it. Because otherwise, you have a risk. There's a very big risk that the enemy team is just going to revive itself and disrespect you. Not a fun concept, is it? But that's what Doom Tower waves are capable of. All these revivers, legendary and epic revivers in this game, a lot of them have team revives. There's a lot of champions with inbuilt revives in their kits. You name it, there's something with a revive in it. Somewhere in its kit. So that's why you want block revive. And the harder hitting the block revive, the better. If it's AoE block revive, the harder hitting, the better. That's why Zavia is actually kind of top tier. True, she has a force affinity problem, but she's still pretty dang good. Overall, she does require some setup. She has some setup in her kit with Poison Rain. Case in point, there is a bunch of... Alright, good. Let's try to decrease the duration. Wonderful. We should be able to take him out. I'm praying. Okay. It starts to get dicier as we go up. I will admit that. We will have more issues as we go up. Guaranteed. Or your money back. Because they're not going to want me to beat this Doom Tower. They're going to want me to fail. Guaranteed. Because the Doom Tower is one of the longest grinds in the entire game. It's not as long as the amount of champions that you can get in the game, but it's long. Almost no grind is that long of this game. This game has a ridiculous grind of that. One of the longest grinds. It's one of the longest grinds in Raid, but one of the longest grinds, period, is Elder Scrolls Online CP. Like 3,600 CP for max level. That's a long grind. When it's ascending by 1,000 each time, meaning it's like over 1,000,000 by the time we get to the top. I mean, not that you need that. At 2,000 or even 1,600, you basically got all you need, or even below that. Like 1,500, I'm already feeling like I'm getting most of what I would ever need already. Like 1,400, even 1,200, even. I mean, true, I'm still collecting it, but I mean, CP 160 is what you need for most content anyway. But it's still it's one of the longest possible grinds in a video game. To actually 100% that is... Very few people will actually last long enough in Elder Scrolls Online to actually get to 3,600. Very few people. That's the bitter reality of it. Now, in terms of Arbiter skin fragments for the other account, there's only 2 left. We will have the Arbiter skin complete long before we get the actual Arbiter on there, which is a bitter irony, you know? Long before that point gets to it. Now, in terms of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I've found out something we need to do. But it is highly unpleasant. And it involves gloom. That's all you need to know. I hate gloom so much. That mechanic is overpowered. Straight up. Alright. So we finally made it all the way to the Magma Dragon. I still doubt we're going to make it to the top. So we got 1 rotation. Yeah, we're probably not going to make it. If we do, it's going to be bitingly close. Like bitingly. Like and subscribe. I will be doing some more of this tomorrow. I'll see you all then. Let's get it.